Donald Trump is doubling down on stupid. California has been a leader in climate policy going back to Ronald Reagan. 1967, Governor Ronald Reagan established the first tailpipe emissions in the United States of America, created the California Air Resources Board. 3 years later, a president by the name of Richard Nixon, another Republican, codified California's leadership under the Clean Air Act. Never in the history of the United States of America has there been a more destructive president than the current occupant in the White House in Washington, D.C. He's trying to recreate the 19th century. He's a wholly owned subsidiary of big oil, gas, and coal. He's quite literally reopening coal plants in the United States of America. He's received close to $500 million in campaign contributions. He asked for $1 billion, look it up, in return for basically eliminating all regulations in the United States of America. De facto, he just did that yesterday with federal regulations and the endangerment finding. It is code red in terms of American leadership in this space. Low carbon, green growth. And I know a thing or two about this. I represent the 4th largest economy from a GDP perspective in the world. And we ran the 4th largest economy last year, 9 out of 10 days on 100% clean energy.
I love when he starts spouting off about, California's economy is so huge. Yeah, Gavin, it runs in spite of you, not because of you. There are some of the richest individuals who live in California. And so, yeah, there's a whole lot of business going on in California. It runs in spite of you, not because of you. All right, let's make that clear. But then also, I showed you the Gavin Newsom clip there at the very beginning because, of course, he's there with world leaders posturing as the president of the United States. Meanwhile, in his state of California, it is absolutely in shambles. And I want to take you guys to a Nick Shirley video. Big shout out to Nick Shirley. Obviously, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Nick Shirley. He is the gentleman who who kind of put it on the world stage, the Somalian fraud, in Minnesota. So that is Nick Shirley. I'm going to put him up here on the screen here in just a second. But clearly Gavin Newsom is trying to position himself for a run for president come 2028. And let me tell y'all something. You better get out and vote. Because if you don't, what I'm about to show you is going to be the entirety of the United States of America. You heard what he said. He wants to get rid of fossil fuels. He wants to get rid of coal. Bro, and the fact that he was trying to slam Trump because Trump was like, hey, listen. First off, we the people, we wanted cheap gas prices. We want energy to be cheap. We want prices to come down. So we want Trump to be opening up more coal plants, right? More approving more sites for drilling. We want that. That's what we wanted. We knew Trump was going to do that. So if I'm Trump, why don't I capitalize off of that? Hey, listen, coal industry, big coal execs. Y'all pay me. I'll make sure I get this thing straightened out. I was already going to do it anyway. But I want $1 billion. I mean, I'm scratching your back, you scratch mine. Throw me a couple dollars. I don't see anything wrong with it personally. He was already going to do it anyway. It ain't like he like promised us something, and then because these big execs paid him, then he all of a sudden did something different, Anyway, I'm talking a little too much. Let's hop into this video from Nick Shirley. Here is his here, I'm gonna throw it up on the screen. There we go. Bang!
A refugee camp, and it is not a war zone. This is downtown Los Angeles, and you're looking at Skid Row, the most densely populated homeless area in all of America. Crammed into an area smaller than half a square mile are over 4,500 people living on the streets inside tents. That's more than 40 people per block, surviving and some even fiending for the next hit just to stay alive. To put it in perspective, Skid Row has more people per square mile than the entire city of Washington, D.C., and every single one of them are homeless. In this video, I'm walking you through the streets of Skid Row. You'll see the conditions up close and personal as I speak with the people living on these streets and giving you guys an in-depth look as to how this has happened and how it continues to happen in one of the richest cities in America. Now it's time for us to hit the streets of Skid Row, and I'm meeting up with a local by the name of Tommy Tomato to give us an inside look into Skid Row. We're gonna hop in the car right.
Yeah, absolutely crazy stuff. This is obviously Nick Shirley here on your screen with the gray hoodie on. Big shout out to Nick Shirley, man. He's doing some fantastic work out here in these American streets, exposing a lot of this nonsense that's going on. We're gonna skip through their car ride and we're gonna get straight to the nitty gritty.
Expanded and have more homes. I'm trying to do this for 6.
Hold on. Wait, where was it? Right here.
Clothes, it's their personal possessions. It could be drugs, needles, feces. It could be so many different things that are just going in the air, getting everybody sick. That wasn't there when it'd be on fire, you know. And it's just a lot of funds for them to come and put this out and make sure, you know, people are safe.
Helicopters coming around.
Yeah, helicopters, like.
There could be literally anything inside that fire. The fumes could be, we could be breathing very toxic fumes of drugs, fentanyl, anything like that.
All types of stuff is in there for sure. I mean, they should be out saving lives, not saving a fire on a street corner at 11 in the morning. You know, it's not right.
How long have you been living here on Skid Row for?
June 28 will be 2 years.
You've been out here for 2 years now. What keeps you here on Skid Row?
Basically, primarily, I can't afford to pay rent somewhere.
We're on 4th Street right now. We're about to hop over to 5th Street, over to the heart of Skid Row. Is there anything we need to be careful about?
A lot of the rotten old food that they feed us out here, they really do that to try to kill us. They ain't really trying to help us. Anything that's 3 months out of date, you shouldn't be serving to nobody.
So they're serving you guys expired food out here?
Swear to God, and I'm Catholic, we don't believe in swearing. I swear to God, a lot of it.
And why do you think they're giving you guys expired food?
Part of the big plan. I really believe that's part of the big plan.
And what's the big plan?
Well, the big plan is population reduction, you know? And the homeless is one of the first ones they believe that should go. We're like in the way.
So they're giving out this food, and right here you can see the water that's built up, and it's completely brown. And while we were walking with this man by the name of Norman, I noticed a group of migrants that had children that were living on the streets here on Skid Row. ¿Ustedes son de Colombia? Sí, somos colombianos, nos gusta la música. ¿Y cuánto tiempo ustedes llevan aquí en los Estados Unidos?
Llevo 2 años.
Cuando ustedes vinieron aquí a los Estados Unidos, ¿pensaba que iba a llegar aquí a este punto a vivir aquí en esta calle?
No, pensábamos que iba a ser una vida diferente.
I'm gonna skip this part because there's that music going on. Matter of fact, I can mute it. There's still the subtitles at the bottom. I just don't want to get a copyright from the music playing in the background. That's all. Got kids living on the streets. Mind you, these folks are obviously illegals who came into this country. They said 2 years ago. So they've been living on the streets for 2 years in a tent. At that point, you might as well go back to your home country, bro. This is crazy. Just living out on the street.
Yeah,
there's still music playing in the background. We're gonna skip through this part a little bit.
Nonprofit workers that saw me videotaping the expired food they were handing out to the homeless people came and tracked me down, and they started getting a big argument with us over me videotaping the expired food. And just listen to what they had to say. Like, why am I getting in trouble for talking to these people? Why are you guys getting mad at me?
Because you guys are just like trying to find what's wrong with what.
Expired food and trying to pictures.
Instead of like, hey, it would be great if people donated stuff that wasn't used and was brand new. That would be great. So instead of you guys promoting the charities that are actually trying to help.
Yeah, we're just showing what's going on, and we're talking to people. If you guys want to get mad at us for filming, like, go ahead.
She was asking if your guys' food was expired or not.
That we passed out, those 15 maybe were expired and we left them there because there's no like trash can to put.
Bro, the fact that they get mad about that lets me know that they handed out a whole lot of expired food. They handed out a whole lot of expired stuff. Now, if it's like barely expired, okay, I get it. You know, like a couple days, depending on what it is. Because a lot of stuff, you know, genuinely is still good even past its expiration date, or best buy, especially if it's like a best buy date. Because a lot of people get confused with like the best buy, you know, whatever date, whatever today is, 2/16. Well, yeah, it's still good even past 2/16. So if it's a few days, maybe even a week, but like months, bro, you handing out stuff that's been expired for 3 months, which is what that first black guy said at the beginning. Yeah, that's crazy work. That's crazy. I don't care if you're trying to help folks or not. You're trying to, and to me, I agree with that black dude. Like, you're genuinely trying to get somebody sick. 3 months? Nah.
And we're talking to people, and then we get a group of nonprofit people. They're trying to make a difference in what they're doing, but they get mad at us for, in our way, doing what we can to help make a difference.
Exactly, and what they're doing too is they're assuming. They're like, don't put the camera in the field. No, we ask permission first and make sure that it's okay if they want to speak on the camera before we actually do that. So the kid that you guys were looking at, she said those aren't even the parents. So I said, so who's the parents of the kid? They're like, well, we don't know. And I said, well, then there's a trafficking issue. You know, and then now when the camera came, they're like, oh no, it's not a trafficking issue. That's not what we said. 2 seconds ago, the lady just said there's a trafficking issue down here, that kid is not belong to them.
Is there a lot of human trafficking and like child trafficking that goes on here? And
Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. So that kid doesn't even belong with those people. Those aren't his parents. He's just hanging out with 2 random adults. 2 random adults. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And they'll call Trump Hitler because he wants these people to go back to their country. And shame on his parents for just letting him just dip out. I mean, I understand, you know, wanting better for your child, but like sending your child off with random people, not in today's world. Crazy.
it's part of it.
Ain't no telling what the fuck are doing.
We actually did confront them about the expired food, and she said, well, there's thousands of food, and maybe 15 of those are expired. How do we know that only 15 of them are expired if there's mixed in with the 1,000?
Exactly. They don't know. And primarily, I'm glad she told you that. And I'm glad she refused to give me some food, but more than likely, it was expired anyway. That's some bullshit, man.
What are the most people consuming out here on Skid Row? What kind of drugs are they taking?
All of it. I'm so scared that I might have a friend that used that fentanyl. I'm so scared because they giving it to anybody, you know.
Do you think this is all planned, or how do you think they stop all this?
Stop it. It's growing. It is not stopping.
It's not stopping.
It's taking over meth.
How many of your friends have died out here?
3.
Okay, we see you got some stuff in your hands. What do you have in your hands today?
Lighter, pusher, pipe,
What kind of drugs are you consuming here on the streets?
alcohol, and crack.
And crack. Is that crack? Is that cocaine, or is it, when you say crack? Are people taking a lot of fentanyl here as well?
Very much. I've lost about 20 friends to fentanyl within the last half a year.
And did those friends know that?
20 have OD'd on the fanny pack? Golly. That is wild. 20?
That they were taking fentanyl, or was it just laced with the crack?
Yep, laced.
Did that scare you? Right
It
now,
did. I actually had left for about a month. I went home to my mom for a little while because it was just too much for me.
And now, what brought you back here to Skid Row?
Drugs.
How do you guys make your money out here on the streets?
Well, me personally, I clean. I clean garbage, trash, and I sell dope.
Okay.
Yeah, as a supplement.
And when you sell those drugs to the people, do you feel some sort of responsibility if anything wrong happens?
Well, yeah, but I'm pretty confident in the product that I do sell because.
Jeez Louise. They out there smoking it, selling to each other. And the guy who runs that state is the guy who wants to be president of these United States of America. Now, do I think that'll happen? No. But it can. It most certainly can. I would like for us to squash it and nip it in the butt in these upcoming midterms. I would love for us to absolutely I mean, just demoralize the Democrat Party in these coming midterms and just leave them scrambling, wondering what the fuck happened. But we got to show up, man. We have to show up. Because that was the thought when I first saw the beginning of this video yesterday. It's just, I hope this never happens to America, bro. We cannot let these Democrats win. We cannot let them win. Not unless you want that to be most of America. That's some crazy stuff, man. Some crazy stuff. And the fact that this guy who runs that state, who's responsible for millions of dollars going missing, right? Because I saw recently that they failed an audit and have spent $20+ million on the homeless crisis, and it's only gotten worse. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom seems to have gotten richer, which is kind of weird, kind of interesting. I think he also bought a new house, millions of dollars, which is crazy too. Man, just I don't even know what to say. Just use this as motivation. If anything else, use this as motivation to make sure that you show up in the midterms, all right? Because you don't want this to come to a city near you. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.